Okay, so I think I've never done this in this game, where I talked about if you should summon or not in a banner. Because in this game, I feel like more than any other game, skipping banners is so much easier. Because most units just go to the generous SR pool, and the ones that don't, either their original characters, which you should always summon on, or they're exclusive, which is like, I don't know, you summon if you want. So, this is the banner that I'm getting the most requests. Dude, should I summon this banner? Should I summon this banner? And here's my take. Now, I think this banner is worth summoning on. And I'm gonna explain why. Derieri, this one, the red one, is what I think, and a lot of people that I've talked to, and people that really like played this game, think is the best PvE unit in the game. Now, when it comes to PvP, not the best, but PvE, she is the PvE killer. I've posted 2 videos on her yet. Her regular showcase, and the one at the top left right there is her on raids. She is the best Crimson unit. It's not even close. She's the best Crimson unit, and she's the best at most things. She can solo Crimson, the Extreme Crimson. She can solo Extreme Crimson. Not like solo team, like you bring only your team. I'm telling you, if you bring just her, she can solo Extreme Crimson. I saw a clip on Twitter. Dude, she's mad batshit crazy. But that doesn't mean if you don't pull her right now, that you won't just not pull her in the future. She is actually a unit that will be in banners. And how do I know that? Some people are thinking she's going to be the coin shop unit. There's kind of a way to determine that. Like right now, in the coin shop, if you come here, it's easy to actually determine because the 3 coin shop units that we got, they have very similar costumes. So if you head here to Melascula, this is the costume that she got, right? It's like the black thing with the red. On the Starossa, I don't want that for sure. It's been a while since this raid came out. Where is the Starossa? It can be the red one, doesn't matter. But imagine it's the green one. This is the costume that came with the green one. This one. See a pattern? It looks exactly like Melascula. And Gallon, which I'll probably not find if I don't sort by red. I hate the sorting of the box in this game, I have to say. It's like the one bad thing about the whole game. Like, UI-wise especially. Gallon, it's not as, like, repetitive as the other ones, but you can see the shading of black and red, right? All these coin shop units from the commandments have, like, very similar costumes that come with them, and the ones that are summonable, they look like the characters in the anime. Like, let me bring up Melascula again. She looks like the character, oh, not this one, but her original costume is this one, which is exactly how she looks in the anime, right? So the ones that become summonable look like the anime, and the ones that don't look like the weird black and red costume. Now if you look at Derieri, let me bring, this is actually the costume that she gets once she awakens, is her regular, like, anime, like, how she looks in the anime, right? But the red one looks like the green one, I'm sorry. The green one has the black and red like the other units. So the green Derieri will not be the banner one, it will be the coin shop one. So what you can do is you can save part 2 tickets. I have 2 right here. Yeah, I have red Derieri, but I won't dupes, she's that good. I am saving my tickets. We get 1 from story mode and also 1 from 3 from this stage right here. I haven't touched this too much. It's pretty hard. It's actually very, very difficult. I've done about this from now. I haven't really tried any of these yet. But if you do everything, you get 3 part 2 SSR tickets, which is again gonna go through Derieri. So you can wait for her banner to leave and use those tickets if you want. But I recommend summoning for her. Now, looking at what she does, right? The reason why she's so good is because of her passive. When the unit attacks, increase the unit's attack by 10%, and the buff goes away if she doesn't attack. But it counts both like the cards, so you don't even need to really attack. You can just boost herself because this is a boosting card, and stacks per 10 times. Now here's why this actually became busted. if this was just, oh, increases by 10%, and it was just one singular buff that kept increasing by 10%, she wouldn't be nearly as good. But every single time you increase her attack by 10%, that's an extra buff of 10% that is in the card, like an extra blue thing. Let me show. If you've never seen gameplay for her somehow, let me show how that looks. So, let me go on her real quick, and show pretty much how it works. But every single time she gets a buff, that buff stacks on top of the other buff. So let me just keep doing like regular level 1s so you can see. Boom. Yeah, you see? She kept getting more and more buffs right here. Now she has 3 level 3 plus 10 buffs. And why does that matter? It's because of her ultimate. For each buff, it increases damage by 30%. So if you max out her thing, that's an extra 300% on top of you getting an extra 100%. And if you use this card, it gives you 4 buffs because of the dodge as well, which only lasts for 1 turn, but this one lasts for 3. So that's an extra 50% on top of the 100%, on top of the 300%, plus 40% from it's so many percents. You get what I mean? Like, that's why she hits like for like 2 million, 2.5 million, like it's nothing. And it's just mad crazy. And here's the thing, right? Before her, the strongest, like most damage dealing unit in the game was Jericho, the green one. Or the blue one, doesn't matter. But mostly the green one. Now here's the issue that I always had with Jericho. Like, she hits really hard, but she needs to build up, which this one kinda does, but since like the second turn, she's already hitting super hard. But this Jericho, she has 0% resistance, which means that she takes so much damage. And look at the HP stat, 5,300. But look at Derieri, 7,000 base HP. You wanna see how much Escanor has? Escanor, I'm talking Escanor. 7,000. They have the same HP stat. You see how god stats Escanor has? She has almost the same stats as Escanor. She only has 30 less defense. Escanor. God himself. And her stats are crazy. And then she has 50% resistance. So she does a stupid amount of damage, and she tanks. And oh yeah, Jericho as well has 240 defense, or 350. So she's a monstrous damage dealer and a tank. You see what, like, and she doesn't need to crit. Like Jericho, if you don't crit, I mean, like in the beginning of the turn, she doesn't do damage. She doesn't need to crit at all. And she has lifesteal, so she heals when she does. Dude, it's just so good! It's so good! She's the best PvE in the game. I mean, yeah, Gopher, I know, but come on. It's, when you see her work, man, it's just, if you haven't seen the showcase, just go look at it. It's just so stupid. So if you don't pull her right now, right, it could happen that you might take a while to pull her. Like, I know people, like my boy Speedy, we meme him a lot because he still has not pulled Blue DM Meliodas. And he summoned on his original banner, you just didn't pull him. And until this day, he summons on like whatever banner that he is. He does the part 2 tickets. He did SSR tickets when it was merged, right? Never pulled Blue DM. That could be you with Derieri is what I'm saying. It could, it definitely could. Or next week, or 2 weeks later, she might be featured on these banners right here. Let me come here. She might be featured on those part 2 banners. Because Rada Starosa was featured in the part 2 banner, I think the week after he left, right? She could one day be featured on this banner right here. When you do your daily single, because that's the banner that has daily single, and you might pull her. That can happen as well. That's what happened to me with Escanor. When Escanor dropped, green Escanor, I went 1,200 gems to pull him. And then, the day he left and he was putting banners, I pulled him my daily single, and I'm never gonna forget that. It can happen. Very lucky, but it can happen. But I think you should summon. I definitely think you should summon. She's like super busted. And now talking about the other Derieri, I spent all my time talking about the red one, but the green one is also very solid. Like, the thing is that I haven't even awakened mine. But she is very solid. It's just that the red one is so stupid that this green one got completely overshadowed, but she is really good. And if you pull her from the banner, like when I pulled her twice, this green one. And both times I was like, no, it's not the one I want. But she is really good. But she will be a coin shop, so even if you miss her, you can just buy her later for 7 coins. But yeah, the first card is the same card that Green Merlin has, which is a very good card that removes ult gauge. And then the second card is the same card that Red Fat King has, where she gains ult gauge on the level 2 and 3, and it's an AoE card. She is very solid for PvP. Like, I'm gonna test her on PvP tomorrow, I think. And she looks pretty solid, and her passive is that when enemies move their skills, ultimate gauge will not increase. And that's also very solid, because on PvP, a lot of people, whenever they have like 2 ult gauge on King, and then they move King's card one time, and then attack twice, and then they get the ultimate. Well, can't get the ultimate anymore. That's a tactic that a lot of people do on PvP, especially ungeared. She's gonna be pretty good for PvP. Like, she got very overshadowed. My group of friends were talking that this is not a situation like Estarossa. When Estarossa came out, does it still have his new? No. When Estarossa came out, right? The green and red one, the green one was so leagues above the red one that pulling the red one was like, no! This one's garbage, and he's still garbage. This red one is like top 5 worst units in the game. The red one's like top 5 best units in the game. It was that much of a difference. But this one, because this one's very solid for PvP, and this one like is mostly just for PvE, pulling both is actually a good thing. Because you will never have a situation where, oh, I want to use both Derieris. No, you don't. This one's for PvE, this one's for PvP. So this banner has really good value because you have a PvP and a PvE unit in it. And I think that's also really good. And I didn't talk about her commandment when I was in the red one, because her commandment only works in PvP. But the PvP commandment is decreases the damage of ranged attacks of all allies and enemies by 35%. She is, of course, only doing like non-ranged attacks, so she doesn't get affected by her thing. But a lot of units come to mind when you think of ranged attacks. Lilia, King, like a lot of units come to mind when we think of ranged attacks, you know? And all those units are going to be having their damage lowered. Green Escanor as well, particularly, is going to be one that is going to be lowered as well. So, she's going to be very solid. Then she has the same ultimate, Amplify, but she doesn't buff herself, so the Amplify is not going to be as good. But still, this banner has a lot of value. I recommend summoning. But, some people have been bringing up, and the anniversary is actually kind of close. March 31st apparently was the day that the game came out. I had to Google because I had no idea. But March 31st, right? Which is like in a month. So in a month you can save gems. In this game, I've done a video on how many gems you can save. If you are in the end game, you can save, if you're free to play, you can save like 500 gems into anniversary. So you might want to drop like, I don't know, like 150 gems on this banner or something like that. Especially end game players, if you know how to spend gems properly and you're free to play, you should be saving gems. Like that's how I see all like good free to play players do. And like drop like a few gems. If you don't pull her, you know, next time on a ticket you might pull her. But man, this unit is so good. But I do recommend summoning. Anniversary unit probably will be Zeldris. Given that it's like in a month, it's so close, man. It might be Zeldris. So we'll see how Zeldris will act, if it is him, of course. It might be so many things. I can't think of it being like any of the recent units, like Estarossa. I don't think it's gonna be Estarossa. It could be base Meliodas and Zeldris, is what I'm thinking. Like from their fight, right? When the ending of like season 2, kind of, not the ending, but like around like the middle towards the end of season 2, like base Meliodas and Zeldris could be the anniversary banner, which is gonna be hype if it is. So you might want to save for that. But God, Derieri is the best PvE in the game, and you're gonna have so much fun if you pull her. So that's why I do recommend. Might be bait, but that's why. Alright, if you don't pull her, good luck with the tickets. If you do, go for her. Good luck with the summons. That's it.